Hello students, today we are going to learn what is the significance of a chemical formula. As you all can see here, the chemical formula of sodium bicarbonate is NaHCO3, okay, of glucose is C6H12O6. So, the molecular formula of a compound represents one molecule of a compound. For example, C6H12O6 represents one molecule of glucose. It also tells the number of each kind of atoms present, that is the ratio in which the atoms are present in one molecule. For example, out here the ratio will be 6:12:6. On simplification we will get 1:2:1, okay. And it also says us about the mass of one molecule of the compound, which can be calculated by adding the atomic mass of each atom present in the molecule. So, what is molecular mass? It is the algebraic sum of the masses of all the atoms present in a given molecule, okay. So, let us take an example, a very simple example of sulfur dioxide whose formula is SO2. So, what do we learn from the molecular formula SO2? The elements present in it are sulfur and oxygen. So, one molecule of sulfur dioxide, it consists of one atom of sulfur and two atoms of oxygen. And molecular mass of sulfur dioxide can be obtained by adding the masses of each atom of sulfur and oxygen. So, what is the atomic mass of sulfur? 32 atomic mass unit, and oxygen 16 atomic mass unit. So, what is the molecular mass of sulfur dioxide? It is 32. Why 32? 32 is the atomic mass of sulfur, and since there is only one atom of sulfur, then you see 2 into 16. Why? Because there are two atoms of oxygen. So, what is the molecular mass of sulfur dioxide? It is 64 atomic mass unit. So, what is atomic mass? Since the mass of an atom is very small, so it is not possible to measure its mass in grams. So, it is measured in atomic mass, okay, and the standard chosen for measuring the atomic mass is 1/12 of the mass of carbon, which is taken as the standard unit, okay. So, this is known as atomic mass unit or AMU. So, what is atomic mass unit? The mass of an atom of any element compared with 1/12 of the mass of carbon, okay. Now, atomic mass is also known as relative atomic mass, since it is determined for an atom by comparing it with a standard unit. And what is the standard unit out here? 1/12 of the mass of carbon. So, atomic mass can be a whole number or a fraction. Why it is an fraction? Because it is the average mass taken for the different isotopes of an element. For example, the atomic mass of sodium is 22.99. Now, if it take it as a whole number, it will be 23. Atomic mass of potassium is 39, chlorine is 35.5, okay. So, in this table you can see the atomic masses. For example, for lithium what will we take? 7, for boron 11, okay, for neon 20 because it is 20.1, for sodium 22.99. So, as a whole number we will take 23 and so on. So, what is a chemical equation? It is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction using symbols and formulae of the substances involved in the reaction. The substances which participate in the chemical reaction are known as reactants, and the substances formed as a result of the chemical reaction are known as products. For example, burning of coal in air. So, what do we get? We get carbon dioxide and heat is given out. Okay. Now, what are the steps involved? We must write the symbols or the formulae of the reactants on the left hand side with a plus sign between them. Write the symbols or the formulae of the products on the right hand side with a plus sign. Put the sign of arrow in between the reactants and the products. Then represent the reactants and the products in their molecular forms. Why? Because atomic forms are usually neither stable. You know, atoms may or may not exist independently. Now, let us take few examples. Reaction of lead monoxide and carbon to form lead and carbon monoxide. So, what is the formula of lead monoxide? PbO. For carbon it is C. And the products are lead, carbon monoxide, CO. So, what happens in this reaction is that lead oxide is reduced to lead by carbon and carbon monoxide is the other product. Then reaction between iron and sulfur to produce iron sulfide. For iron symbol Fe, for sulfur S. So, what do we get? FeS. Then reaction between carbon dioxide and water to produce hydrogen carbonate or carbonic acid. Do you know what is the common name of this? It is known as soda water. So, water plus carbon dioxide gives carbonic acid. Next example, reaction between calcium oxide and water to produce calcium hydroxide, as you can see here. Now, we will notice that the total number of atoms on the reactant side as well the product side are equal in each of the above equations. For example, let us take this equation. Calcium is 1 number of atom, oxygen is 2, hydrogen 2 on the left hand side. Right hand side, calcium is 1, oxygen is 2, hydrogen is 2. So, the number of atoms are equal in both the sides. So, such equations are called balanced equations. Now, let us take another example. Hydrogen reacts with chlorine to give hydrogen chloride. Now, in this equation, on the left hand side, the number of hydrogen atoms are 2, chlorine atoms are also 2. But right hand side, number of hydrogen atom is 1 and chlorine atom is also 1. So, this type of equation which is not balanced is called as a skeleton equation. Okay. So, we need to balance the equation in order to follow the law of conservation of mass. Okay. So, these are also the examples of skeleton equations where they are not balanced. So, what does the law of conservation of mass says? It states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another. So, the need for balancing chemical equation is to make the number of atoms of the reactants equal to the number of atoms of the products to follow the law of conservation of mass. This is because a chemical reaction is just a rearrangement of atoms and the atoms themselves are neither created nor destroyed in the chemical reaction. So, how are we going to balance this equation between hydrogen and chlorine to form hydrogen chloride? If we multiply HCl by 2, hydrogen atoms becomes 2, chlorine also becomes 2. So, now it is balanced, okay, in which the number of atoms of each element on the reactant side is also equal to the number of atoms on the product side. Now, what is the significance of a balanced chemical equation? It shows which substances are taking part in a chemical reaction and what are the products obtained. It shows both the number of molecules and the number of atoms of each type involved in the reaction. It enables us to calculate the actual mass of reactants and products involved and formed in the reaction. If atomic mass of each of the elements involved in the reaction is known. It makes the study of chemistry standardized. Standardized means every way it will remain the same. Now, let us take an example. Now, what information do you get from this equation? First information, calcium reacts with oxygen to form calcium oxide. Second information, two atoms of calcium reacts with one molecule of oxygen to give two molecules of calcium oxide. Okay. Here in your book what it is given? Two monoatomic molecules. Why? Because calcium is monoatomic. Okay. Either you say two monoatomic molecules of calcium or you say two atoms of calcium, they are the same. Okay. Then what is the atomic mass of calcium? 40 atomic mass you need, and oxygen 16 atomic mass you need. So, what will be the total amount of calcium taking part in the reaction? 2 into 40, that is 80 atomic mass you need. And what is the total amount of oxygen? 2 into 16, okay, that is 32 atomic mass you need. Okay. So, total mass of calcium taking part is 80 atomic mass unit, and for oxygen 32 atomic mass unit. Now, what is the total mass of the reactants? 2 into 40, because there are 2 atoms of calcium, plus 2 into 16 because there are 2 atoms of oxygen. Okay. So, 2 into 40 is 80, 2 into 16 is 32, so it is 112 units. Okay. So, what do we see? The law of conservation of mass is followed. Okay. 80 units of calcium combines with 32 units of oxygen to produce 112 units of calcium oxide. This is in accordance with the law of conservation of mass, because total mass of reactants is equal to the total mass of the products. Okay. In the next class, I am going to teach you how to balance chemical equations. Thank you.